Hello, I'm Kayla Smolt, Communications Coordinator with Sherrard School District, and I'm here today with Mr. Tim Wernentin. He's the principal over at Sherrard High School. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Kayla?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking. Can you walk us through what a day will look like for a high schooler there?
There'll be actually quite a bit of difference because of some new procedures and a new schedule. So upon arrival to school, students will they'll go to breakfast and have their breakfast, or they'll go directly to the first period of their school day. Um, we're not going to allow students to walk through the halls or anything like that as they had in years past because we have to emphasize the social distancing. And the best way for us to do that is to put the kids in the classroom. So they have the opportunity for breakfast or to go to the classroom. Continuing with that, the entire school schedule will look different. In years past, as you know, we've had an 8-period school day, and we're changing that this year to what's called an 8-block model. What that means is that students will have 4 classes per day, about 70 to 72 minutes each. And then the next day, they'll have their other 4 classes for that same time frame. Because we're having a 1-hour late start, if we were to try to cram all 8 periods in one day, the kids would be in class for maybe 30 minutes a day. And that's really not enough continuous instructional time to get effective work done. So we went to this 8-block model. So the kids will have odd periods one day and even periods the next day. Something else that'll be different for the junior and senior high schools, we're expanding the passing time. In years past, it's been 5 minutes. We're expanding that to 8 minutes. And that will allow students at the high school extra time. We're actually going to allow them to go outside on nice days, get a little mask break, keep their social distancing, of course, but being in class for 70 plus minutes is a long period of time. And so we know kids need a break. And so that's why we're offering that 8-minute passing time during the periods. The lunch operation is going to be a little bit different too. We know we need to get a lot of students through the lunch line. We know we have to keep a social distance. So even today, we're still working through the logistics of that. Lunch options will be different this year. There's not going to be a lot of choice. They'll have a choice between a hot lunch or a sack lunch, but there won't be an a la carte line or anything like that. The vending machines won't be available. And these are all because of these COVID restrictions that all schools are faced with. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be, it's going to look a lot different, but we still have the same great teachers and students, and working together, we'll be able to get through this.
Absolutely. So you spoke to lunch a little bit. Can you talk about what PE will look like now?
What PE will look like. So yeah, that'll be much different as well too. You know, in years past, we mandated that students change clothes, wear PE uniform. Well, that's not going to happen. The locker rooms won't be available, so students will not change clothes. They'll wear whatever they wore to school to phys ed class. There won't be a lot of strenuous activity that's asked for the phys ed kids. We're looking at it more as a walking opportunity. You know, the phys ed teachers will have some walking routes, and will again allow those students to take their masks off, keep their distance, and basically get a mental break from all the other periods of the day and all the other stresses that they're going through at this time. So yeah, phys ed is going to be a lot different, a little bit more relaxed. We do still expect students to participate in whatever activities are available, but the heart monitors won't be in play, and you know, strenuous activity will not be required of the kids.
Right, right. And that makes sense. Also, can we talk a little bit about what remote learning will look like?
So remote learning will be similar to what everybody went through last year. A couple differences will be that whatever activities are going on in the classroom, the exact same activities will be asked of for the remote learners. The same for grading practices. We know second semester last year fourth quarter anyway, the grading was much more relaxed. And that's changing back to our traditional type of grades and grading philosophies. So however students are graded in the classroom, those remote students will be graded the same way. The first hour for teachers, once they arrive to school, will be set aside to help those remote learners catch up on some activities. Specific classroom activities will still be, we're still sorting through how that might look because we want to provide live learning opportunities. Infrastructure wise, we're not ready to do that yet, but that is a goal, is that when a student is remote learning, they would be connected live to the classroom, but we're not there yet. But whatever activities are, the students will be asked to do the same things.
Right, that makes sense. Is there anything else you'd like to add for parents or students?
Well, we're asking everyone's patience. This is going to be a fluid transition to all these new requirements and guidelines that we have to follow, and likely some things are going to change. Once we get 400 plus students in the building, well, we might have to change some things here too, but we certainly are mandated to include these COVID restrictions and guidelines. We're doing that to the best of our ability. Our hope is that this is going to end pretty soon and everybody gets back to school as normal and life as normal, as much as that can be these days. But we just ask for patience. Always contact myself with any questions or concerns that you have. Call me, email me. Happy to answer questions as they arise for you guys.
Thank you for all the hard work that you've put in to make sure students and staff can come back as safely as possible.
Well, you're very welcome. It's a group effort, so we're all working together on this.